Alright, so moving right along to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from my good friend Jason Voorhees 2011, who asked me to do a My Hero Academia version of arguably a pretty awful event in Marvel Comics. So, before we go any further, as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys could start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. Once you hit the third tier, that is. That'll also give you access to all the other videos on Patreon, as well, and that's also where you'll be able to see my episode reviews for Monarch. I just did the season 1 finale review today, as of this recording, and I have also decided, like I've said before, that's where my reviews for Has-Been Hotel episode reviews are going to be as well. Anyway, so let's get started with this. So this is My Hero Academia Axis. So this story is, like I said, a My Hero Academia version of the Marvel event Axis. If you guys don't remember Axis, congratulations. That event really sucked. Axis is basically an event where the Red Onslaught, Red Skull, who got Onslaught powers after taking Xavier's brain after he died in AVX, and essentially what he did was try to take over the world. But what happened was Doctor Doom and Scarlet Witch got together, made a spell, and stopped him. But in doing so, they basically switched everyone's personalities. So all the superheroes had become evil, and all the villains became good. So, yeah. It's really dumb stuff. I digress. So, this story's going to be a little different. So the story begins with, All Might has been called by, All Might has been called by the security staff that has been holding All For One. And they're like, hey, you gotta come see this. This is not right. So All Might goes, and All Might is like, what the fuck is this? It's All For One, and he's actually, like, reading a children's book, and it's not like and they're like, is this some kind of trick? Is this what he's doing? And they're like, no, he would never do anything like this. This man was a monster. Why would he, at any point, at any kind of conceivable point, want to do something like this? This is literally against his nature. I don't know why he would want to do something that would be so egregiously wrong for him to do. It's not, it's nothing that he's capable of. But they're kind of like the security group tells All Might, listen, he's not the only one. We've got a few other people who are in here, and they're all acting much different. Like, they're feeling like we've had whole serial killers talk about how guilty they feel about killing these people and want to, like, confess all their crimes and even to the bodies. And these are, like, hardened serial killers who, like, played games with us on, killing people. These are literal monsters who have done nothing but enjoy hurting people. But now they're, like, wanting to write letters to the people they've hurt and also want to, like, do community service. We don't know what's going on. So All Might's like, that's fucked up. I'll pass that along to keep that in mind. But then he gets, All Might then hears on the news that Endeavor and Hawks are attacking people in the streets. And he's immediately like, what the fuck's going on? So so All Might obviously doesn't have his power anymore. This is after All For One got incarcerated. So he does see that the other pro heroes are... all the other pro heroes and even some of the members of 1A are like they're trying to stop Endeavor and Hawks, who are just blindly murdering people left and right. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just like, we demand respect. We get all these accolades and whatnot, but all we are is just entertainment for the masses, and they're just so they have to be stopped with a lot of injuries involved. But the thing of it is that suddenly more of the pro heroes start, like, turning, and they have to be incarcerated, and they're like, and All Might's like, why am I not affected by this? And he's kind of putting it together Sorry, I got like I had a little Porky Pig syndrome. I got stuttered there. But yeah, he's starting to put together that this is the work of maybe a new villain, or someone who doesn't believe that. And sure enough, it's this young kid named Hayata. And Hayata, his quirk is switch. Basically, he switches your personality from good to evil and evil to good. So Hayata has been learning how to use his quirk. At first, he would use it to make a rabid dog into a kind and gentle soul, or a kindergarten teacher into an abusive woman. And it's more like he basically is like, as a child, I always loved I always was curious about the lines between good and evil, and I always would take my parents and switch their personalities on a whim to see what their reactions would be if I did something wrong or did something good. It's kind of like he's not really good or evil. He's just basically that's the problem. And he also brings up the point of heroes and villains in general in the My Hero Academia universe. His whole thing is you have to define something as evil or good based on appearances or character. But what if we turn that character on its axis, and that's the title he gives himself, is Axis. So Axis's abilities don't go unnoticed because the Villain League go to find him roughly about the same time the class of 1A also find him, and they're like, you got to choose a side, man. You have to choose which side you're on here. This war, are you a hero or villain? You've made villains become good. We can the pro heroes believe if we can get Axis on our side, we can start making heroes forcefully good. Or same thing with the Villain League. And Deku is like, this feels really wrong. Why can't we just let him choose on his own? Why do we have to make him do that? But everyone's like, no, we got to stop him if he doesn't join us. And Axis is like, this is perfect. This is going to prove my point. You all are about to prove the point I've been dying to make all this time. And then Axis just revs up everything he has and just unleashes it on both parties. So now everyone in UA is now been made villains, and all the villains in the Villain League are now suddenly like, why do I want to do good? Why do I want to not hurt anyone? Why do I want to save lives instead of take them? Even Toga's like, oh my god, I've killed so many people. And even Shigaraki's like, oh my god, I'm a fucking monster. And Dabi's like, I gotta go, guys. So Dabi fucks off real fast. We'll get to him in a moment, but all the other villains, Twice and all of them, they all suddenly realize they want to do good. And the class of UA is like, hey, assholes, we're gonna fucking kill you all. So a fight breaks out. Axis falls back and wants to be an observer in all of this. Meanwhile, the only person who didn't get hit by this Axis wave was All Might, Toshiro. So All Might, he wasn't hurt, he wasn't hit by it. Neither was another person, Hero Killer Stain. And Stain is like, this guy perverts everything that it means to be a hero. We have to, I have to kill him. And All Might's like, no, we don't have to kill him, we just gotta talk to him. And he's like, I don't know who you are, pal, you're not All Might, but fuck you. I'm gonna go find this Axis guy, and I will permanently put an end to him. But All Might believes there's a solution. So he goes back and finds the villains who did get away while students of 1A just go on a villain, rampage across the city, carving it up for gang violence. Now, All Might goes to the villains, and they're like, oh, All Might, we used to have this horrible drive to kill you, but now we're sorry. What is the deal here? Meanwhile, Dabi's off to see his mom, who's like, Mom, it's me. I'm sorry I faked my death. I had to come see you. And she's already fucked up. So she's already like, get away from me. You're dead. You're not real. So Dabi feels really sad. He leaves. He comes back to the Villain League, and he's like, I've seen what my brother's done, and it's not his fault. We need to stop him. So All Might takes up the leadership for the Villain League, and actually All Might joins the Villain League, and then they call themselves, no, we're the Hero League now. And Twice is like, this is so dumb. Why do I accept the stupidity of all of this? So yeah. So the class of 1A have now been calling themselves the Legion of Villainy, and they're going around wrecking shit left and right. And Deku still has the power of One for All, and he proceeds to wreck house against the pro heroes that are not corrupted. It's just although to be fair, nothing's really changed with Bakugo. Eventually, though, like the class of 1A does encounter the Villain League again and see All Might among them, now decked out and has a big suit of armor they've built for him to help fight him. So it's so him and All Might get into a fight. Meanwhile, Axis is observing all of this, and he's like, "This is amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better set of results." And that's when he hears someone come up behind him, and he's like, Turns around, it's Hero Killer Stain. And Stain is just I have been looking for your ass all day. You have perverted the lines between heroes and villains, and it's gonna fucking stop now. And he's like, I can switch you to, to be someone else. So he tries that, he tries his powers on Stain, and Stain's still yeah, you made me different, but my ideals stay the same. That's what you don't get, Axis. You can't just change someone's ideals on a whim. That's the human spirit. Either you made me, even if you made me a hero or villain, I would never conform to either of those things like you did. You and I just pervert the line between good and evil. So and that's when Axis is like, that's amazing. And he doesn't even care that he's like, hey, why does my throat feel warm and wet? And he realizes Stain slit his throat and killed him. With Axis gone, everyone goes back to normal, and everyone's like, well, that was fucking weird. Let's never do that again. The villains are like, let's get the fuck out of here, and split. And everyone's like, well, we better clean up and kind of explain this to the media. And Deku's like, I'm sorry, All Might, I tried to kill you. And he's like, that's alright. Everyone was off their axis. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. Anyway, so there you go, guys. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of My Hero Academia Axis? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.